Hello, cats and kitties. It's your friendly neighborhood headbanger Terry here, and it's been a while. And this time, yes, I do have makeup on. I think we can all agree that that is a good thing. I'm sorry it's been a while. I've been dealing with some health issues that are non COVID related, and I'm still dealing with them a little bit, but I am feeling better. And so, yay, let's do a video. Now, this is not in black and white. I decided not to film in black and white this time, but this is the long awaited and promised true crime video. Today, we're going to talk about basically two crimes. There's a first major crime, and then there's what I consider to be a crime afterwards, and possibly even a more significant crime. Well, not significant. Certainly the victims' families wouldn't think so, but the victims' families of the first crime wouldn't think so. But it has a lot to do with the main crime. So today we're going to talk about Ethan Crumbley and his parents, Jennifer and James. Ethan was is a 15-year-old, but was a 15-year-old sophomore at Oxford High School in Oxford Township, which is about 40 miles outside of Detroit, Michigan. And on November the 30th at about 12:50 p.m., Ethan walked into a bathroom with a backpack. He walked back out of the bathroom without the backpack, but with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. And he began to walk up and down the hallway as the kids were changing classes. They were going from one class to the next class. There were lots of kids in the hallway, and he began to shoot, just indiscriminately, methodically up and down the hallway. Now, because Oxford had practiced lockdown drills, most of the classroom doors were closed immediately. He did not get into a classroom, and that is, we were thankful for that, or the total could have been much worse. Now, what wound up happening was that 4 students, and I have their names here, 4 students were killed. Madison Baldwin, age 17. Tate Meyer, or Meir, but I'm going to go with Meyer, age 16. Hannah St. Juliana, age 14. And Justin Schilling, age 17. So they were killed, and 7 others were injured, including a teacher. Tate Meyer actually died in a police car on the way to the hospital. He was shot trying to stop Ethan, trying to take Ethan's gun away from him. So he is quite the hero, and there has been talk about renaming the high school after him, or the stadium after him, or something like that. I think that would actually be pretty cool. So Ethan was arrested without incident and was taken to the is it Lakeland County? Oakland County, I'm sorry, the Oakland County Jail, where he was held without bond and where he is going to be charged as an adult. He has not been taken to a juvenile facility for fear of his safety. And a lot of people think that juvenile facilities are not as bad as adult facilities. It's juvenile jail. It's jail, and it's hardcore. So they left him at the adult jail, and he is actually staying in the clinic area since he cannot be kept with adult prisoners at this time, since he hasn't been found guilty. A judge entered a not guilty plea on his behalf, and his defense attorney, who was appointed by the court, is going to, and this is not surprising, plead not guilty due to reasons of insanity. Now, here's the thing. There is no dispute, absolutely no dispute, that Ethan is the one who did this. There are tons of witnesses. You know, it's just, he's not even denying that he did it. Here's the thing. Not long after he was arrested, about 3 days after, on December the 3rd, Jennifer and James Crumbley, his parents, were arrested. They were arrested for negligent homicide because they let a gun be where Ethan could get to it easily. Now, there's even a more interesting story behind that. First of all, there's no reason that his parents shouldn't have known that there was something going on with Ethan. Ethan had a history of concerning behavior, and this is where I'm going to need to consult my notes. 6 months before the shooting, Ethan's mom had noted that he had been sadder than usual because his only friend had moved away. Last year, Ethan had sent texts to his mother that the house was haunted, that a ghost or a demon was there, that he had seen the demon. The demon was throwing things off shelves, and his mother did not reply to these texts. Now, I don't know about you, but if my kid had sent me a text like this and, just kept sending texts like this, I might have just at least, texted back and said, what are you talking about? Are you kidding me? Are you joking? This isn't funny. Nothing. She didn't reply to him at all. And last year, when Ethan asked his dad if he could take him to the doctor, his dad reportedly told him to suck it up. Wow. Okay. Ethan that is, claimed to have video of the demon and a picture of the demon. And he made disturbing posts on social media that he loved to hear the screams of baby birds when he killed them, and supposedly kept the head of a baby bird in a jar in his bedroom. Again, if you're a parent that's paying attention, this might be something that you notice. And I'm going to go off on a tangent here and say that as a parent, I believe that my child's right to privacy extends as far as my concern for my child. If I think or see something disturbing about my child, then I have a right to go and look at social media posts, a right to go and look under the bed if I want to. Because when I worked at the group home, I once was concerned about a girl, looked through a drawer, found a picture of gravestones with her and every member of her family's name on it. And we wound up getting her some help. And she told me the day that we were getting her help that she hated me. She told me when she came back from getting help, she thanked me. So sometimes it's okay to be the bad guy if you're going to prevent something like this that happened. Now, he journaled about wanting to kidnap, torture, rape, and kill a female classmate. These are all very disturbing things that if his parents had been paying attention, they might have noticed. Now, I'm not saying 100% they would have. I'm saying that just any more attention than they had been paying would have been better than what they were doing. Ignoring disturbing texts, ignoring a request to go to the doctor, ignoring a request for help. That's just, I don't know what's going on there. And then this happens. On Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, James takes Ethan to the gun store and buys him this semi-automatic 9mm handgun and gives it to him and tells him it's his early Christmas present. And Ethan does social media posts about it. Look what I got for Christmas. And he's all excited about it. And apparently he's, allowed to take it to his room and do social media posts about it. And apparently it's not locked away and kept in any kind of safe, a gun safe or any kind of locked away place where it's not going to be easily accessible, because he is able to get it and take it to school with him. Now, even crazier is going to be the morning of the shooting. The morning of the shooting, Ethan drew disturbing pictures on his geometry test. And the drawings included a gun and a body with the words "blood everywhere" written on it. And also, "the thoughts won't stop." This was written on the test too. "The thoughts won't stop. Help me." So we've got a gun, we've got a body, we've got the words "blood everywhere," and "the thoughts won't stop. Help me." So the geometry teacher took pictures of the test to make sure that she had a record of them. And basically what happened is, before the test got to the office where the parents could see it, Ethan had modified quite a bit of it. He had marked out the words, "The thoughts won't stop me, help me." He had marked out the words, "blood everywhere," tried to mark out the gun. So he had actually tried to modify what he had put on the test, but smart teacher, she took pictures, so we do actually have the actual things that Ethan wrote where they can be clearly seen. And on the day of the shooting, he did this, and so obviously Ethan's parents are called in. Jennifer and James were told to get their son counseling within the next 48 hours. No, I would have said take your kid now. They can deal with crisis at the ER. Take your kid to the ER, tell them what's going on, show them this, something needs to happen. They will get him the help he needs. Or call the cops and have him 5150, which is involuntarily committed for observation, for a 72-hour observation. So the school suggested at that point that the Crumbleys take Ethan home, and they declined and left. Yeah, they declined and left after they had seen the things that he had drawn on this geometry test. Now, a few days before that, Ethan had been texting about, or actually, he'd been looking for ammunition for his gun online, and a teacher saw it and, raised some concern about it, raised some concern to Jennifer. And Jennifer had texted to him and said, "I'm not mad, just don't get caught. Don't get caught again." Oh, okay. Yeah. So, and I mean, I guess it does make sense he would look for ammo for his new gun, but maybe not during school, and maybe his parents should be the one buying ammo, not necessarily him. But so anyway, back to that morning of the shooting. They leave. They don't take Ethan with him, and because Ethan had no disciplinary record at the school, and because they didn't want him to be home alone in this state of mind, they let him stay at the school, where he had a backpack with the gun already in it, where he was already planning to do this shooting, and maybe could have been stopped. Who knows? Maybe writing this on his geometry test was his way of trying to get someone to stop him. Maybe he didn't want to go through with this. I don't know. But if that were the case, then yeah. So in my mind, the ball was dropped twice here. Excuse me, I have a tickle in my throat. It was dropped by the parents who didn't take him home, who left him at school after all that disturbing imagery had been shown to them, and just they knew that he was sad. They knew that he had been having issues, so they dropped the ball. The school also dropped the ball by not insisting that he go home, or by not calling somebody. Perhaps they could have called the police. I don't exactly know what the law is in Michigan for that, but they might have been able to have called the police and gotten him for making threats or something like that. I don't know. I just think very strongly that a major mishap happened here, and that this could have been prevented. Okay. After Ethan was arrested, it's important to know that they decided that they weren't going to pay for an attorney for him, that they went ahead and had a court-appointed attorney for him. And after he was arrested, Jennifer called her boss to tell him, after she left work screaming that Ethan was the shooter, that she needed her job and to please not judge her based on what Ethan had done, and please not fire her. And her boss was like, I thought that was kind of odd, that she was more concerned about her job than she was Ethan. I think that if this had been me, I would have just gone directly to my child and not really worried about my boss at the time. And the boss was pretty much, take care of your kid. And then Jennifer says the oddest thing. She says, well, I could come back in a few days and maybe work some, and maybe that would get my mind off things. And the boss is like, no. The HR director actually is who she talked to. And the HR director was like, no, yeah, you're like on administrative leave. You're not going to be here. And it wasn't like a punishment for her. It was just like they didn't think that that was going to be a healthy thing for her to be there. And I have to say that I agree with them. So on December the 3rd, it was announced that James and Jennifer were being charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. I'm sorry, I believe at the beginning of the video I said negligent homicide, but it was involuntary manslaughter, because James, as we said, bought his gun, bought his son this 9mm semi-automatic gun 4 days before the shooting, and basically did not do anything to secure it. So that is not cool. And after the charges against, and I just started calling them J and J in my notes, James and Jennifer, after the charges against J and J were announced, they went ahead and retained the services of their own attorney that they paid for. Now remember, they did not retain services for Ethan. This before they even knew they were going to be charged. They let him have a court-appointed attorney, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing. You know, there are a lot of very good court-appointed attorneys. I'm just saying they didn't spend any money on James, but they did spend money on themselves. Now, after the charges were announced, J&J were supposed to appear with their attorney at the Oakland County Sheriff's Office to turn themselves in. They did not show up. The U.S. Marshals and the Oakland County Fugitive Apprehension Team went on the hunt for them. How many fugitives do you have to have in your county on a regular basis to have a fugitive apprehension team? I'm just wondering about that. That's like when I was telling the true crime story about the guy in Memphis who burnt down his house, and they took him to the prison ward at the hospital in Memphis. How bad does your city have to be for the hospital to have a prison ward? Okay, so J and J are on the lam. They're on the run. The attorney said the couple left town for their safety, but they would show up for their arraignment at 4 p.m. on December the 3rd, which, by the way, is the same day they were charged, so they were really moving this case along. Guess who did not show up for their arraignment? So they haven't showed up to turn themselves in. They haven't shown up for the arraignment. I think it's fair to say that J and J are on the run. Authorities found out after digging around a little bit that J&J, James and Jennifer, had withdrawn $4,000 from an ATM on December the 3rd, and that they had turned off their cell phones. And at that point, there was a $10,000 reward for any information that would lead to their location and their capture. Now, I read one thing that said that they had taken $3,000 of Ethan's money. Now, Ethan's a 15-year-old sophomore, so I don't know that he had $3,000. Maybe they meant they took it out of a trust for him or out of a college fund or something like that. And then there were other places that said they just took $4,000. So I'm not sure if they took both. I'm not sure if one source is correct and the other one isn't. I don't know. But they had a lot of money in cash. And I was wondering how they even got $4,000 from an ATM. Most ATMs have a set amount of cash they will give out from an account. But apparently they got $4,000. At 11:05 p.m., on December the 3rd, a business owner reported to the police that he saw the Crumbley's vehicle, which had, been on the news, in his parking lot. So this guy has now seen their vehicle in his parking lot, and this is in Detroit. And I said, at the beginning of the video, Detroit's about 40 miles from Oxford. So they've driven about 40 miles to Detroit, probably thinking they can get lost in Detroit. Police set up a perimeter around the area of that parking lot, and at 2 a.m. on December 4th, the Crumbleys were taken into custody. They were found in a first-floor room of a commercial building. So apparently there were a lot of businesses in that area. They were unarmed, but they were very upset. Very, very upset. They did not go quietly, and they showed no plans that they were planning to surrender. There was no indication that they were going to surrender, that they were going to turn themselves in. They had already been talking about selling some of their horses because Jennifer boarded horses. She was good friends with one of the people that worked at the boarding place, and that person actually testified that she had told them that Ethan was not acting himself, that he was acting sadder than usual. Okay, it shouldn't be usual to be sad as a child at all, much less be sadder than usual. So yeah, they were going to try to sell some horses, and they were trying to find ways to make money. It was obvious they were going to go underground. Now, due to being a flight risk, bail was set for $500,000 for J&J. They tried to get that reduced, but no, they've already proven they won't show up to court when they're supposed to. So no reduction in bail for them. And as of January the 8th, which was the last thing I could find about this case, survivors of the shooting have filed a $100 million lawsuit against school officials, and they've named them for gross negligence, basically for not taking the signs seriously that they saw that morning and not doing more to protect them, for basically not sending him home or not contacting the authorities in some way. So, but now let's think about this for a minute. One of the reasons I said that there are two crimes here, obviously the one that Ethan committed and the one that his parents committed, or do you think so? Do you think that it was right for them to charge J&J with involuntary manslaughter? How much responsibility should the child take, or should the parent take, for the actions of the child? Well, in this case, I will tell you my opinion. I believe that they're doing the right thing. I believe that you don't buy a child a 9mm semi-automatic handgun for Christmas and let them have it and then not secure it from them in some way, shape, or form. I just think that there's a big issue with that. I don't know that it's necessarily illegal in Michigan. I just think it's ill-advised to let them be able to have any kind of access they want to it. I probably wouldn't even buy it for them to begin with, but certainly not if there were all these factors: social media posts, journal entries, and you're like, well, maybe they just wanted to give him his space and they didn't want to pry into his personal affairs. They want him to have his privacy. Here again, like I said, as a parent, I am responsible for what my child sees and does online, and I'm responsible for looking out for not only their physical health but their mental health. And there were so many signs that Ethan's mental health was not okay. Now, he's not doing a whole lot to help his insanity defense, because he asked, while he was in jail, while he's being kept in the clinics, the section of the jail, how he'll be able to get his fan mail. Yes, there's the words he used: his fan mail and his hate mail, because I guess he wants to read both. I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't want to read my hate mail, but so yeah, there's a lot of things being said by Ethan now and in the past that should have rung some alarm bells. And I also think that the kind of parents that James and Jennifer are is being made more and more obvious. I already told you she wouldn't answer his texts about his concerns about the house. His father wouldn't take him to the doctor. And now they ran away. They left him in a jail, charged with the murder of 4 people. And then when they got in trouble, they went on the lam. They ran away. Just left him in the jail. No parents to come see him. No parents to come and talk to him. No parents to, get him the help that he needs. No parents to talk to a psychiatrist or a psychologist. Nothing. They ran. They left him just sitting there in a jail. And if there is nothing illegal with what they have done up to this point, then they just suck as parents. I mean, they suck as parents anyway, but as a parent, I'm at a loss. I'm completely at a loss where, they would run away and just leave him without anyone to talk to but his defense attorney. Which, I mean, yeah, his defense attorney is going to talk to him, but it's not your mom and dad. If there are siblings, I'm unaware. I haven't heard any mention of him having siblings, so there was nobody. There was nobody to come and talk to him, to come and visit him, because they were in a commercial building hiding in Detroit. And this is just 4 days after the shooting. So he probably hasn't even processed everything that's happened to him yet, and his parents are gone. So here's the thing. Do I think that Ethan needs to pay a penalty for what he's done? Yes, absolutely. You don't shoot 4 people and get away with it. Do I think he strongly needs some mental health help? Yes, yes, I do. And I think he needs to be put in a facility where he would both serve time for what he has done, and he would get help. And I know that those are in short supply around the United States. What do I think needs to happen to J&J? I think J&J probably are guilty of involuntary manslaughter for not securing the weapon. I don't know that you can use because they wouldn't take him home as a mitigating factor. I certainly would try it if I were the prosecution, but there are definitely things they could have done that would have meant that Ethan would not have gotten his hands on that gun easily. And they already knew that their child had issues, because Jennifer had already said to the woman that worked at the place where she boarded her horses that he was sadder than usual, and that his friend, his only friend, had moved away. So yeah, I need to know what you guys think about that. I need to know if you think that J&J did commit a crime, or if they're just like the worst parents on the face of the earth. I would like for you to tell me what you think about that, and what you think about this case, and what do you think about what should be done with adolescents who commit serious crimes like this. I mean, this is, the murder of 4 people. And yes, he's clearly disturbed, but he's not the legal definition of insane. He knows he did wrong. He's looking for his fan mail. I mean, that's a little bit much. So what do you think should happen here? I'm just curious about what you guys think. All right, guys, I know I was a little tongue-tied during this. Like I said, I've been feeling a little blah for about the last week or two, and it's an ongoing issue that I hope will be taken care of within the next month or so. But I may look a little between now and then. But it's cool. I'm okay. I'm good. I hope you guys are okay. Hope you're doing well, staying safe, and all that stuff. And let's see, I think my next video is probably going to be a makeup declutter. I've seen other people do this, and I thought it was a really cool, neat idea of going through makeup and just, I use this, I don't use this. You guys can see what makeup I use, and I will get rid of what I don't like. And when I say get rid of, I mean give away. So, stay tuned for that. You might be able to score some decent makeup that I decide that I don't want or I'm not using. So, yeah, I will talk to you guys later. I hope you're doing well. Bye.